Hi, my name is Michael O'Leary and I'm here to present you an evaluation of an economic text, in this instance Freakonomics. I did this as part of my assignment for EC 1113 in semester 1, and I'm going to present it to you now. Freakonomics is the best-selling economic book and is what's perceived as a pop economic book, and it was written by Stephen D. Levitt, an economist from the University of Chicago, and Stephen J. Dubner, an award-winning journalist from the New York Times. The assignment we were asked to complete had three major parts: the overview of the authors, the overall theme of the text that we were given, and we had to recognise three economic ideals that were present in the text. So to begin with an overview of the authors, Stephen Levitt was born in 1967. He attended both Harvard and MIT, getting his master's from MIT. He currently works at the University of Chicago, where he's won the prestigious William B. Ogden Award. And a funny quote to do with Stephen Levitt is, if Indiana Jones were an economist, he'd be Stephen Levitt. The relevance of which I'm not sure. But Stephen Dubner then is not actually an economist, he's just a journalist, but he's a good journalist. He works for both the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, and he's acting as editor of the New York Times currently. The main economic concept of the text, for me anyway, was the idea of incentives. One of the main ideas in the book is this idea of falling crime, and countless economists and philosophers trying to figure out why crime was falling in America in the early 1990s. And for me it was all about incentives. So the reason crime began to spike so hugely in the beginning was because there was an incentive to become part of the criminal life, because crack cocaine prices were so high at the time. And in the late 90s, crack began to fall, so crime-related deaths also began to fall, yet crack use didn't fall. This would show to me that crack dealers were disincentivized from selling crack because there was no profits to be made, yet the market was still there. And incentives, so removing the incentives removed the crime effectively. And as many economists have said before, incentives matter. It is basically the foundation upon which all economics is built. The concepts in class that relate to Freakonomics, I picked three of them. The first of which is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the idea that the definition of opportunity cost is the cost of a foregone alternative. This means that every time you make a decision in life, you're losing out because you can't use those resources to make another decision. So if you've €1, for example, you can buy a can of Coke or a packet of crisps. If you buy a can of Coke, then the opportunity cost of that decision is a packet of crisps. This, quite disturbingly, was used in Freakonomics to do with abortion. Now, many people have drawn a correlation between abortion rates and crime, and how the higher abortion being legal reduces crime, due to the fact that there are many fewer unwanted children around. And unwanted children are more likely to be involved in crime. And Levitt very interestingly uses opportunity cost to try and put a value to an unborn fetus versus a normal life. So if you were to put a value of, let's say, 1/100th of a normal life on an unborn fetus, would it still be worthwhile making abortion legal? And it really depends on how you value an unborn fetus. But from the example he used, where he gave 1/100th of the value of a normal life, it really still didn't, the society as a whole didn't benefit from it, because more children were killed through abortion than they were through crime. So I suppose that depends on how you value life. The second concept is the tragedy of the commons. This occurs when a publicly owned good is neglected by private individuals, as they all benefit from the existence of the good, but nobody takes responsibility for the upkeep of the good. Now this, funnily enough, is used in the text as the destruction of the crack cocaine market, because so many dealers were trying to, undercut each other competitively, and through this constant undercutting, the price of crack cocaine fell dramatically, and this destroyed the market for everyone. So different drug dealers trying to undercut each other destroyed the market for each other, and this is something we see often in everyday life with commonly owned goods such as parks or littering on the road and this kind of thing. The next concept is unintended consequences, or as it's more commonly known, the Cobra effect. Unintended consequences are fairly self-explanatory. It's when you take a certain action to achieve a goal and something else happens. This is present in the text when the Romanian dictator Nicolae Ceausescu outlawed abortion in an attempt, and abortion was really prevalent in Romania at the time. Almost 1 in 5 live births, for every 5 live births there was 1 abortion, which is huge. But he outlawed abortion in an attempt to make Romania stronger as a country as a whole by having a larger population. And this was disastrous, as nearly every child born that year was born into poverty where parents couldn't support them, and they turned to a life of crime, and Romania was basically ripped apart by crime in the following 40 years. And funnily enough, it was about 18 or 20 years after Ceausescu had outlawed abortion that he was overthrown and killed in Romania, and he was overthrown by the children basically that he forced to be born, which is quite interesting. And the last concept in class that relates to Freakonomics is causality and correlation, and how they can be confused by certain economic pundits. And this is quite a dangerous act, as people can take an idea from something and it again would cause unintended consequences. So this happened when economic pundits believed that lower sentences created lower crime rates, which is absolutely ridiculous, because it was lower crime rates that caused the sentences to be lower. Yet they took it totally the wrong way, and if people had paid heed to this idea, then maybe the penal system would have been changed totally and for the worse. And that's my presentation. Thank you very much.